All right, what's happening, everybody? How's everybody doing today? We here today with a good friend of mine. It's gonna be the first installment of Fatherhood Spotlight. Here today with my guy Brian Utterback, man. How you doing today, brother?
What's good? What's good? What's good, brother?
Hey man, what's happening with you, man? How you feeling today, man? How's everything going for you?
Man, not too bad, not too bad. Just getting ready. I am still trying to figure out how the kids get out of school tomorrow, but other than that, I'm good.
They get all the off days, man. We end up at work and they end up at home eating up everything, man. Ain't that
Boy,
how it go?
boy.
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. But yeah, man, I want you in here today, man. I want to talk with you, kind of celebrate you, man. I kind of watch how you move, man, the things that you do, and how you get down in the community, man. How you get down as a father. So I want you to come on and kind of say a few words to the audience, man, because that's what we all about here with Firm Fatherhood, celebrating the fathers that's doing all the jobs, doing the hard work, the heavy lifting in the community, man. We kind of get overlooked and kind of downplayed and made to think that we're not present and we're not accountable for our families and for our kids, man. So we're here to prove
That,
that all wrong. We're here to prove that all
yeah,
wrong.
well, yeah, we talk about that all day long. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? We definitely get the short end of the stick, but it's all good. A lot of us that I see that I know, we try to bring the village back.
yeah, yeah. That's what it's
You
all
know,
about, man. Got to.
yes,
We
sir.
realize the work that needs to be done, and we don't really look for the aberration. We just do what we got to do. So
Mhm.
I can always dig that, man. But first things first, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Your upbringing, man. You here from the city, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. I mean, I grew up off of Boulevard. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of hard heads, but
Yeah.
I mean, it was some good dudes over that way that still talk to us and kept us on the right track. A lot of them dudes, they thought I was gonna ball for a little bit, so they was like, man, leave that dude alone, man, leave back alone, he cool, so.
Keep them on the straight and narrow, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but that's how it was back then. No, you know what I mean. Everybody,
Mhm.
you looked out for who you looked out for, and
Yep.
if you seen some light, people seen some light. Maybe he can get up out of here or something. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
I think we've lost that in a hole though over the years. Nobody looks out for nobody no more, and it just, like I said, the village has been broken for quite some time. So.
Yeah, man, it has, man. It used to be women, children, they was all, out of bounds, man. You couldn't go for that, man. Now those rules are kind of thrown out the window, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's always an issue. That's always the situation, man. Um, with the, me, you and I work together. Not only we are friends, we're co-workers as well. That's kind of where we met at. And with all the long hours, man, that I know that we work at the place that we work, doing everything that you got to do, and you being a coach for your son's basketball team and working the long hours, and you got other kids, man. You're a husband, you got your family, you got sisters, you got brother. Like, how do you make time, man? What is it that you do to make sure to create balance that everybody kind of gets what they need from
Man, bro, that's probably the hardest thing, you know what I mean,
you.
out of everything, you know what I mean? And I
Right.
tell people all the time, man, that, like, time is the key element in anything,
Yeah.
like don't play with my time because we don't
Yeah.
have a lot of it.
Hey.
I mean, it's hard enough with my boys,
Yeah.
trying to be there. I mean, I think I got, yeah, I'm pretty sure I got a practice today at 7:30 that I got to take
Mm.
one of them to. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
back and forth, back and forth. Not only that with them, you got to spend time with the old lady. You got to talk to the because I'm pretty much like the oldest of. I got five brothers and two sisters. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm constantly talking to each one of them or texting each one of them, and we
Mhm.
all got good relationships. So
That's good.
trying to keep everything, like I said, keep everything locked and loaded. So it's difficult, but
Yeah.
we gonna make it get done because we got to.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Being from Gary, and I've been here in Indy now for damn near 25, going on 30 years. Well, it's about 20, 25 years. I know how difficult it is with a lot of my family not being in the city. Does it make it a
Mhm.
little bit better as far as a village helping you with your family, with your boys, with your kids? Does it make it a little bit easier when you can, and do you incorporate the saying it takes a village when it comes to your kids and your brothers being involved and your sisters being involved and family being involved
Well,
with the helping of the raising with your kids?
yeah, I mean, I think everybody's got to have kind of almost a similar vision nowadays because everybody's vision is so abstract now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like nobody's on that same page how we used to be.
yeah.
So it is difficult a lot of times. So you just got to find really like-minded people and
Mm,
just kind of focus on that. And then whenever you can get to the extras. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
My a couple of my nieces and nephews they grown now, so you know what I mean.
Hmm.
Like I can still conversate with them at
Hmm.
a little bit better intellectual level now with them because
Now they
since they
understand.
older now. So
Yeah,
so
yeah,
but then a couple of the small ones, I'm like, man, y'all got a couple years, and then then we can get on the same page, y'all.
yeah,
But as far as everybody else, man, like I said, I know my brothers with my nephews. That's my son's age. I mean,
mhm,
we all around in the same group. We
yeah.
trying to train, trying to get them, keep them in sports, keep them out of trouble, keep them busy, and that's the main thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
What's that?
important. You got kids, man. They got their cousins. I remember growing up with my cousins, man. That was important because we were scattered throughout the city for the most part. You know what I'm saying? If something was
Mhm.
going on, everybody had each other's back. And if you was on some foolishness, you knew somebody was gonna tell too. So,
Yeah,
it was always eyes on you. So that's important too. You already got to deal with that type of stuff. So and like I mentioned, man, you are, the coach of your sons in the seventh, eighth grade team, man. Y'all made a run. Y'all did y'all thing, man. You took some young boys all the way to the chip. You know what I'm saying?
we had a good game, man. I'm
Hey,
still
man, that was
stewing
a good
about that
game.
game, man.
That was a good game.
It went down to the wire, and I thought the coach put himself. I mean, the ref put himself into the game when he shouldn't have. With about 4 seconds left, and called a foul on us. But to that other kid's credit, man, that kid stepped to the line. He made two
He did.
big
He
free
dropped him.
throws.
He
You know
dropped
what I
him
mean?
with
And
no conscience. He dropped him.
yeah,
He did.
he.
Yeah.
I don't think they touched rim. Like he.
No.
I mean that kid had a good fourth quarter in overtime. I think he had 4 points going into the fourth, and I think
Right.
he ended up with 14. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that kid played. He played late in the game, and he had a good overtime. And
Yep.
we lost by 1 point, but like I told him, I said, hey, a couple of the kids, like I said, I've had them since they was in fourth grade. They'll be freshmen next year. So
Right.
I can't wait to see, where all of them end up going. So we'll see
That's
what
always
happens.
That's always cool, man.
Yeah.
So, from the beginning of it, man, what inspired you to start coaching, and how did it kind of impact the relationship that you had with your son that's on the team with
Well, so it's crazy. In all honesty, I didn't even want to start coaching
you?
because
Okay.
what I mean.
Mm,
But what happened was that he goes to St. Lawrence, and uh, a I think it was third and fourth grade coach at the time,
mm.
and
Right.
a friend of my wife's, Miss Roseman, and she actually was like, well, Brian, you can coach, and I was
Mm.
like, and she was like, no, you can coach, what I mean, and
Mhm.
she kind of. God rest her soul, because she's no longer with us. But she was a
Okay.
good woman, and
Mm.
she ended up plugging me through, and it went on through, and I was like, well, I do it just for him for a little bit. Wait a minute, mommy, I do it for him just for a little bit, and it
Right.
end up working out. You know what I mean? And so now I like it. I know he
Mhm.
probably don't like me being his coach a lot because I'm a lot harder on him than anybody else. But
Are you
tell
okay?
him, I tell him I don't want to hear no excuses, especially on the basketball court. Don't tell me no excuses. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right. So
Yeah.
he feel like you coming down on him even harder, but you don't realize
Yeah,
that, man, you getting the special attention, bro. You know what I'm saying? You getting it
definitely.
all at home too.
Well, yeah, I tell him all the time I don't want to hear nothing on this basketball court, man. Because we I made fun of him earlier in the year because we actually ran into my first coach, Mr. Merriweather, Kevin.
Hmm.
If you out there, Kevin Merriweather,
That's
cool
what's
dude,
up.
man. And Matter of fact, his daughter is, I think she's coaching at the University of Cincinnati right now. Katrina
Oh man,
Merriweather's coaching it. Yeah.
it's in the family
And
then. Okay.
yeah. So but we ran into Kevin at somewhere, and he was looking at my son play. And he said, "Hey man, come here." He said, "Man," he said, "You gotta step it up, man, because your dad was a dog, man."
Mhm.
And so he looked like, "Oh, so y'all on this same thing," you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it actually made him. It did make him play harder that day for sure,
Yeah.
because he was like, he said, "I know you always tell me that, but it hurts hearing it from somebody." I said, "I know." I said, "I know."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I be needing, somebody else to tell him something so he can,
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's always the
thinks,
cool part, man. When you get somebody else to say, verify the stories that you're telling your son, like, oh, you was a
yeah,
dog for real. It's like, yeah, man, I'm out here, dog. Where you think
yeah,
you get it from? For sure.
yeah,
For
yeah.
sure. That's cool. That's cool. Um, so we watched the game, man. It was back and forth, and the game was tight throughout the entire championship game.
Well,
Hell, I'm sure the season would have its ups and downs and all kind of stuff going
mhm,
on as well. I saw a lot of emotion pour out of the kids, after the game. Of course, they were disappointed because you came up 1 point short.
right.
But to do what you did throughout the entirety of the season and get to where you got to, and you had the team on the ropes the entire game, man. I mean, that game could have, it could have went either way.
Okay.
Um, what do you do, man, with those emotions? And like I said, I know you've dealt with those type of emotions throughout the course of the season. What do you do with those emotions from them young boys that may have been dealing with something and, kind of growing up in a tough environment or a tough neighborhood? What do you do with those emotions when they come pouring out like that? How do you kind of uh,
Man, in,
corral them and
in all
teach them?
honesty, I tell them all, like, and my son will tell you to this day, like, I tell them all the time, I don't care about wins and losses. Yeah, it
Right.
feels better to win, but
Yeah.
nobody's gonna remember who won in 2024 seventh and eighth grade basketball tournament at the Catholic school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know, like, it sucks when I tell them that, but I tell them that for it, like, all the kids that I've had, that except for one, have been mainly black young males. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so like, I tell them, like, this thing is way bigger than just winning this basketball game and getting a trophy at the end. You know what I
Right.
mean? We trying to live life out here. We trying to make good productive citizens in life. You know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
guys are the next coming of the group that
Hmm.
has to have understanding of life, in
Right.
general, as being a black man, and just and being the next group that carries this torch that we gonna pass on. And
Hmm.
like, I tell them all, I'm just trying to leave something better than it was left to me, and hopefully everything else goes the way that it's supposed to go.
Yeah, man, that's the key. I do a lot of mentoring. I deal with a lot of these young men, and because of some of the stuff that they deal with and go through on a day-to-day basis, man, their emotions are just all over the place.
All over.
So, what I'm saying, if it's not for, men like you in the community, man, kind of showing these kids what to do with those emotions and not to let those emotions control them, man, that's why we are in the spot that we are now with a lot of our community, with our kids are just our young boys are just young guns. They just out here, what I'm saying,
Mhm.
being led by the emotions, man. And the hood is in trouble, man, if we don't kind of come back to it and kind of grab it by his arms, like, nah, young blood, that ain't what you do.
That ain't what you do.
That ain't how you let your, one bad thought process or let your emotions go one time and you find yourself locked up for the next 10, 15, 20 years, man. So that ain't what you want.
Definitely.
Yeah, that ain't what you want. But yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the time spent. Again, man, my hats off to you for the work that you do in the community. You were somewhat of an unsung hero to me because, like I said, everybody doesn't realize the work that we do in this community, man. And you are a golden example of what we need to do and what we already got going on in our communities, man. So I appreciate it, man. Salute to
Hey
you,
man,
brother.
I appreciate you, man. I tell everybody about the firm fatherhood, and I
Right
speak
on.
it, you know what I mean, because I love it. A couple of my old guys that I work with at the juvenile, you know what I mean, and I was
Yeah,
like, man, nah, my guy got some good stuff going, man. Y'all got to check it
yeah,
out, man. And
yeah,
you know what I mean, and that's, we trying, you know what I mean. It's
yeah,
still a lot to go, but hey, as
yeah.
long as we can say we trying, man, and that's all that matters, baby. That's it.
That's it, man. We all got our lane. If we all get in our lane, man, and do our thing, man, bring it to where we need to bring it to, man, and make it better for everybody. So
Yes, sir.
so right on to you, brother, man. I appreciate it again, man, and definitely be hollering at you soon, bro.
Okay, I appreciate it. See.
Thank you, dog.
Yes, sir.
Yep.